Hello and welcome to another video. You join me as I'm repairing a brick wall. Well, I'm not repairing it. A friend's come round to give me a hand to repair the wall. So we're repairing it in imperial bricks. I repaired the inside. I just don't quite have the strength in my hand as of yet to do the repairs. But don't feel too guilty for him because he is getting paid as well. Time is money and all that. But yeah, we're just getting these bricks in. That doesn't need to be too neat. It just needs to be strong and fit in that section there right up to the lintel, and then I'm going to do a lintel across the outside as well just to tie that structure together, and then I can sit my ceiling joist for this little box window section directly onto that lintel. So he's just going to help me build this section back in, and it's going to be rendered anyway, so it doesn't need to be too neat. While he's also doing that, I'm working around just ahead of him just to clear out this section, save him a bit of time when it comes to actually laying the bricks. So I'm toothing out the brickwork on the right hand side as it needs to be built up flush to the interior skin, as you can see behind it. I've added in a bunch of wall ties as well previously, and then I'm cutting that left hand side down flush. This is going to be the new back door. So what he's blocking up is the old back door, and this previously was a window, but now new back door. With that section all opened up, ready for him to repair, I'm on to the next bit, which is this old concrete sill. So this is outside the second bedroom, if you remember the floor plan of the house. So I'm breaking off this concrete sill because it is cracked in the middle and all the brickwork below is kind of loose and needs repairing. So you see how easily this comes off. So on this section, he had actually finished for the day. It was a Saturday. So yeah, I didn't expect him to work till 5 o'clock. But I actually ended up repairing this side. Not my best work, but you can sort of see the area I've chased out there, and then I've repointed a large section as well. It's just I'm working a lot slower. It was nice to be back on the trowel though, just before heading back inside to do some more work. As you can see, these boards temporarily laid down. Yes, there is a cement mixer in the future front room. All loose, all over the edges of joists, where joists finish, etc. all the way up. So you can sort of see the scale of the room as such, because obviously these are 2.4, 2.4, 2.4. So what, 6, 7.2 plus a board halfway over with no width cut off of it. So 7.8 meters. Oh wait, no, that won't be 7.8 meters, 7.2, 8.4 meters from that wall to this wall, and obviously 2.4 meter board comes to here, so it's just a bit over. It's literally 3 meters wide to this wall, and then it's a bit narrower as you get to this wall. I need to go into the bay window and get these little bits of insulation popped in, and my water obviously been signed off now, so they're actually doing that next few days. So it'll be water and also my gas signed off, so the gas will obviously be run down this room, so all the floor, all the insulation, everything can be going down permanently. Still like odd things like bricks missing, a little bit of pointing needed, but outside lintels are on for the windows, so I can order most of the windows. Just had to pick up 2 more lintels because I need to put one underneath the front door because I'm moving the front door, which I'll reveal at a later date what I'm exactly doing there. I think I might have hinted at it before already. But I'm moving on to this room now. I'm going to have an outside tap going just behind what is the external chimney breast outside. So I just need to drill that through. I could use a core drill bit. I do have a smaller one, but if I'm gentle with this, I won't blow out the bricks. And the outside is to be rendered anyway, so not too worried about that. But I'm also putting in an electric car charging point. Just everyone's getting electric cars, so if it doesn't cost me anything to do electric car charging point other than the cable, I'm just gonna run the cable in, and then it's prepared. No one's got to rip up floors or run ugly cables around the outside of the house or anything like that. So I've got this big thick cable here, and it's like a cooker cable. It hasn't got to be armoured, as none of it will be exposed outside. So I just feed the cable underneath here and through the wall underneath the joists. Ooh, another butterfly. I'll help him escape because he's now trapped in a spider web. And he's gone. Yeah, I know the spider's got to eat too, but that was my doing because I've lifted up these floorboards and some butterflies seem to be on the underside of them. Anyway, future Sam problem, getting rid of butterflies. Better than rats or woodworm or fleas. Anyway, but yeah, time lapse again as I do all those little bits as I need to move all this flooring. It's going to be fidgety because this is the worst bit about the renovations. Well, not the worst, but top 5. There's no room. It also becomes your storage point, and I've got all the floors up, so it's hard to move stuff around. And there's a big set of stairs out the front, so rolling stuff in and out like that cement mixer, not too easy. Yeah, I'll get on with this. So I've sped this up a bit and just using that drill bit to go through both skins of brickwork quite gently with the SDS because it can obviously blow out that brickwork. You don't want that. Why would you want that? So got to be quite careful with it. So I have a good fixing point when I come to fix on the tap on the outside, and I'll just show you how it looks on the outside because I managed to go right through the middle of the brick joint when it went to the outside skin. So lovely. That was pure luck. But it's done, and it will be behind that chimney breast as mentioned, and then I've obviously got that good fixing point for the brass plate. So you see it's got 3 screw holes, so just a little gentle hammer drill or SDS, and you can see it right through to the outside, that light shining in through that copper, and I'll just connect to it with a push fit underneath that floor. So although I don't have an electric car, I thought it would be a good idea because the cable itself isn't expensive and I don't need to put armoured cable in. So I can run the feed underneath the floor all the way up to where will be the electrical mains board. So if someone who buys this house off me one day does want an electric car charger, there is a point there and they don't need to rip up the house. It hasn't really cost me anything other than a few meters in cable, and it's the same thing, just poking it through and then obviously running it underneath the floor joist. But yeah, getting it through, and then as you can see here, it's run round to in front of the chimney breast, the external chimney breast. So this external chimney breast will be in line pretty much where the driveway will be, which you see to the right where all that rubble is, that's where the drop curb is, and it will be here. So be able to charge the car should they wish. That's the gas all in. So end up going for a wall mounted one, then I can mess around with the ground levels and everything, bring it up level across here. As you might be able to see on the brickwork, it slopes down a bit, but they've got it all in. They just need to backfill their bit, but the connection's done, and yeah, I can backfill my bit. They've given me one of the meter keys, which I can get booked in now and get a meter added when I want them to start charging me money. Oh my god, there's another butterfly. Definitely butterflies, not moths. Massive though, that one. Don't know if you could just about see it. Landed up there somewhere. Keep finding these guys throughout the house. Underneath the floor. Probably because there's access. It's dark. No predators. And the bathroom. Insulation's ready to go down. Got my soil pipe here. Obviously not connected, just loose. So this is ready to be connected down here. I just need to chop all this off and then put on my rubber connection, an angle as well up to this, and then run it to wherever the toilet is going. But I've just ordered a 1.6 meter bathtub because it's what is it, 1650 is the width of the room. So by the time you put on tile backer board and stuck them on the wall, you're sort of there already. So tile over the top of the bath, either side, shower probably this side, and yeah, it'll be a walk-in bathtub. I was going to just do a walk-in shower, but lots of people suggested just doing a bathtub with a L shape in it, so you can stand in them comfortably, so you're not standing in the curvature of the bath as such. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, so just over 1.6 meters wide, but it's like at what we got, a whole board there. If that's pushed right up, just about under 2.4 meters. So we say around about 2.35, I would say, long. And then obviously finishing into the door where I have these bits of insulation. And the tops of the joists, as you can see here, notched out. And that's because this flooring in here is going to be 18mm lower than out here, which you can see a little bit more clearly here. I still need to knock up that bit of insulation here as it's fallen. But essentially that'll be with it underneath the door lining. And then it will transition to an LVT finish on this floor, and then in here it will be tile. So tile's obviously a lot thicker when you have the adhesive, the underlay and everything, and you don't want a mountain as you come into there. You want it closer to flush, so that's what I'm going for here, with having the bathroom 18mm lower than the rest of the house. So the finished floor height will be pretty much flush. Again, depends on what the build up is, but the tiles are around 12mm plus adhesive. So they're thereabouts, and then if you do underfloor heating, it will be higher again. So yeah, I think it's like 9 to 12 is usually the thickness of tiles. Ooh, I'll go see, but anyway, it'll be closer to flush, and I just did it at 18mm because that's the thickness of the hardwood ply I'm using. So I can finish it in one sheet up to that point, right there, and then sort of I'll cut them at 1.6 meters, and then another sheet will be underneath the bathtub as such. But this evening's job will be cut a little bit of ply for here. Here, I haven't decided how I'm going to transition it in, but probably just a piece of ply to here, and then it will be a new piece in here. So where I'm not doing chipboard tongue and groove, it needs to finish on a joist essentially. And where I've already placed everything, I'm just cutting the boards to size. So you do have more wastage, as you can see here, but these bits will be used up around the house. I need grounds for the soft fit at certain points. It will definitely be used up. But yeah, I've got more than I need, and I've got 4 more sheets of insulation still. So they will probably, you can see them out there maybe, a little pack. They may find their home in the loft. I may just put them underneath in between the rafters and everything, just to more future-proof the house should it have a loft conversion. As you can see up there, there's currently no insulation. Some insulation will be going here, obviously, once the plasterboard's in. Plasterboard, not that far away from ordering the plasterboard, really. So windows and plasterboard's the next big order, along with the bathroom stuff, and then I can use the toilet actually when I'm here, because previously I used to go to my youngest sister's house, which was 2 minutes away from here, and it was not too bad. But now she's moved to a different house. How selfish of her. But that different house is like 15 minutes away, so a little bit more convenient. So you need to think ahead, plan these toilet runs, and I'm not at the desperation of using a bucket just yet. There was one more lintel I needed to put in, which was underneath the front door. So it's actually going to, I could do it in timber, but this is going to support the front door. So bring the front door out flush, if you haven't seen me mention that before. So bring it right to the front of the house, where it'll be a UPVC door. Essentially, it won't have to worry about the weather issues with like old wooden doors. Although it's nice to have a porch, old wooden doors essentially would swell in the weather, and then they can jam, they can go stiff. Yeah, you haven't got to worry about that with the UPVC ones, so just get a composite UPVC door. But I need to bring it out further so I can have a little bit of a bigger hallway. I may decide to do a further porch, so bring the porch out and do a couple of oak posts. Depends how much time I have at the end of the project. I don't want to go too crazy with it now, but the original plan was to put the posted oak porch over the front of this doorway, but with the bow windows I've decided to keep them. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, one of the things I needed to do was sort out this dust suppression on the disc cutter, because as you may be able to see, it's not working great. I don't know what happens. Sometimes I plug it in and the water doesn't flow through it, even though it's pressurised in that water suppression canister. Or I connect it directly to the hose and it doesn't shoot through. But I did pull my schnud mask up and my t-shirt up over, and I am outside. And there was a gust. It was Storm Amy, if you know what was going on in the UK at that time. So apparently there was a storm going on. It wasn't a very good one, but yeah. Use dust blower, clear it all out, make sure it fits, cut it to length, and this will be one of the little jobs my bricklayer will do just when he comes around, do a bit of pointing. And he also needs to bed on one more lintel. But yeah, he's going to bed this one on for me, and that will sit the front door on, obviously, and then I'll be bringing out these steps further out front. Inside, I'm removing the last pieces of timber, so these old window boards, they'll need to come out when I remove the window anyway. So it's just to help me work out what the build-up structure is behind there. It appears to be some old 4x2s tying to the bottom of the windowsill, and then they've used batten and then sort of like a pebble dashing on the outside, pebble dashing render, and that pebble dashing render is what the underneath the bow windows is constructed out of. You have to forgive the mess, but I'm obviously instead doing the plumbing and storing all my stuff. So, and also the floors aren't down yet because of the plumbing. But I've just removed the window boards here. You sort of see those bow windows. Obviously they curve out, but the brickwork comes right the way up. So I'm thinking maybe a straight window across, just because these bow windows are a little bit annoying for a few reasons. But the most annoying reason is the rendering, like the pebble dash out the front. I don't think it looks great. I'll be honest with you. I do like a bow or a bay window, but you just have a long square window there and it will look just the same. One house down the road has it, so I was quite curious about the build up. So I was just going to do these window boards all in one piece of MDF. Obviously still need to repair some of the brickwork and then build up a reveal here so I have something to board up to. But I'll just show you how they look if you can't remember. Obviously still waiting on the water, forgive all the mess. But yeah, that's how they look currently. Not great. Obviously I couldn't see right there, but a bit of the brickwork would need to be repaired and I would need to continue that skin all the way across, which isn't too much of an issue as they're all being rendered. So be like covered in sand and cement, or probably, I think it's silicone. I can't remember the exact material, but yeah, probably one of the bagged materials just because they last a bit longer, so I'm told. But I've worked out the boiler location, and obviously you see all the electrics that were marked out for the kitchen. But gas pipe is going underneath this floor all the way down there to where my gas meter is, and that will just be for the boiler itself. The hob will be electric, as will the induction hob as well. Sorry, the oven will be electric and the hob will also be electric, so an induction oven. I used one for the first time the other week and I actually think they're quite good. I can still use my cast iron pan on it, so that's good enough for me. But I just need to work out these window sills, so I'm going to clear this one off, chop this one out as well. I'm just waiting for the last bit of brick repairs to be done, and then I'll have those exact measurements for the windows. I'll have a think tonight and see what I'll do about those bow windows, because I mean it will let in the same amount of light. It won't have as big a windowsill. The window itself will be cheaper to buy and also maybe slightly cheaper to install, not too sure. But then I could just carry it straight the way across, and I don't think it makes much difference to the front of the house. But I'll pass it on to a few of my friends and family, see what they think, because I don't want to make a mistake and regret not keeping them, because obviously some people think they're a really nice feature. But regardless, the brickwork internally definitely needs fixing. I don't want to remove these windows till the last minute, so I cannot knock out that pebble dash. You can sort of see from the inside how it's built up with the timbers. Looks like a wasp's paradise back down there. But yeah, the timber from the internal skin running to the outside on these straps. I mean, it's a bit fragile, all of it. So I have to be quite careful, whatever I decide to do. But yeah, I'll get that other one out now. So this will mean that every single piece of timber has been replaced in the house once I get rid of these. And also as well, I'm having my water main signed off tomorrow, and my gas main is going to be run internally in the house. So that's from where the meter will be externally in that white box to where the boiler will go in the house. So water main is all connected in, signed off, just need to backfill all this, and there's a bit of lead there if I fancy digging it out as well. Just had another delivery, plasterboard. Right, so the gas is in. You see it underneath there. Yes, I need to tidy that bit up, the bit of insulation and that bit of plasterboard that come down from here. Yep, runs through, cord through every of these pier walls. All the way. And across here, down underneath these joists, up and to here. It's obviously not being capped off as of yet, because it's not connected outside. So I've got the gas company, or rather this is the energy supplier, coming around to do my official connection now that I've got gas to the property and gas run underneath the floorboards. But that means I can get all my Celotex down. Plumber's happy for me to get all my Celotex down. I didn't do this soldering, so that was their gas chap, Ben, nice guy. He says he's going to come fit my boiler as well, which is happy days because I can't do that myself. But yeah, get all this Celotex over. I'll probably still leave where it comes up for the flow and returns loose, just till these walls are plastered, so I've got the exact point the pipes come out at, and you're not bending the pipes into position. So ideally I want to do copper where it comes up, just because it looks a little bit nicer, but we'll see. As they are white radiators, I could probably get away with using the white plastic pipe. This stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, very messy in here at the moment, so need to get this down, and then I can bring in all my plasterboard that's just arrived. That's all my plasterboard for the ceilings, and some stubwork timber, and also some timber for building the flat roof. This flat roof here. So need to build it out. I'm going to build it out on top of the lintel. I will go into detail of how I'm doing that. And I've also got some insulated board in there as well, because that's going over underneath the flat roof. I'm going to insulate in between the timbers as well, and it's also going to be used in my window reveals. And when I say my window reveals, if you don't know what that is, it's the sections here either side of the window. So you can have windows fitted where it's like in the cavity as such, so it's like staggering the two. I'm going to fit mine to the outside skin, use insulated plasterboard, loads of expanding foam down the gap, and then fix to it. I do also need to add in some wall ties in these sections, but I'm going to do that the day the windows are removed. And I have my new windows on site, so if you have a look down there, there's like one tie there, another tie, one down there. So maybe just add in one tie here, and I can't really see any in here, so some I added at the very top, and I need to tie in that brickwork there as well. But I'm going to get the rest of this in and down as I can now, and then I can store all that plasterboard in here and get my plasterboard lifter maybe even tomorrow and start lifting plasterboard up to the ceiling, because the plasterboard can go on the ceiling at this point. Actually, tell a lie, I'm not going to do the plasterboard onto the ceiling just yet. Let my electrician run his cables first, because I'm kind like that. So there's no reason the windows can't be ordered and put in, and then I can get plastering, because by the time the windows arrive, my electrician will have been, and he would have done all the chasing that's required and put everything in where I've asked him to. Kill all mold. All mold deserves to be dissolved by mold spray. Anyway, so I'm gonna, every single bit of board that looks like it might have mold on it, I'm gonna spray it to death. Mainly because it's invisible. You won't even notice it's affecting your health, because it's not like you start getting lumps all over your body, or you start growing an extra limb or something. It will just be a detriment to your health in an invisible way.
Not as big an issue, I would say, in the UK, or might be in newer builds, but older houses, you don't have like plasterboard and things like that, which you can get moldy sheetrock if you're American, plasterboard, and you really don't want that. So it's invisible and you can't see it a lot of times. So I see a lot of people online saying about issues with mold. So I'm not taking any risks. I'm just going to spray it all with this stuff, which was the most recommended by AI, by Google and everything like that. And yeah, it's a professional cleaning brand, so spray everything that looks like it's got a bit of mold on it. Die, die, die. Taking zero risk with mold. Okay, that's sopping. It smells a bit bleachy. There's a couple of other odd patches. You can see where this top one was the top of the pack when I was replacing the roof. So as a result of that, it got a little bit wet. But I actually have more than I need. I'm just going to spray everything that looks like it's got mold on it. It smells super bleachy. Luckily, most of my house doesn't actually have any windows on it, so the ventilation is great. Like a wind tunnel in this hallway. So yeah, most of the boards don't actually have mold on it. That black spot there is me smacking it with the rubber mallet. But like odd ones like this, where I've stood them up, you can see the mold. The mold must die. And then anything else that looks like mold must also die. Is that mold? Probably not, but it's dying anyway. You don't want these spores spreading anywhere. And this one, but enough mold spray. But yeah, that's all sprayed up, and I'll probably spray it again. You can sand it off as well, but I don't want to disturb anything there. Those particular boards have been mold sprayed, but they've also been inside, inside for the last couple of months, sheltered from the weather since I finished the roof. So I'm not actually worried about it, just being cautious. Anyway, as part of the bathroom plan, I need to measure this, and I'm getting a vanity unit. So the vanity unit is going to be next to it. I just need to make sure it all fits, because that bathtub is going down the end here, and the L-shaped bit's there. And then the vanity section's here, big mirror on the wall, mirror on the wall. And I've just measured it. It comes to that blue dot there, as the room is just over 2.4 meters in length this way. It's just only 1.6 meters wide here. So I'm gonna have the door opening this way, have my radiator pipes coming up somewhere here, just so hot towels when you come out of the bath, shower off the wall here, and extractor fan above up there going through into the soffit fascia. And here, as mentioned, vanity unit, but toilet this side and sink this side with big light up mirror demister. But yeah, as I said, doing the oak effect one, I'll show a screenshot of it. I got it real cheap, I think. We'll see how it turns up. It might be a scale model or something, but it seemed too cheap to turn down. And when I say cheap, I mean good value, not tacky. I think it looks all right. It's moisture resistant oak veneered MDF. So it should be good. I don't know if it's quite Tricoya MDF quality, if anyone knows that brand of MDF. But yeah, I'll show you a photo.
I ended up ordering this vanity unit, which was just over 1.1 meters wide and just over £200 for everything. So I'm proper chuffed with that. Whereas a bungalow, there isn't too many measurements, but I've got all the measurements for my windows. UPVC, I'm just doing white UPVC, and I'll get them all ordered. And I also need a composite front door and a back door. I'm not too sure whether to do a stable back door, so a door that splits in half, or a glass one. We'll see. So yeah, all my measurements ready to go.
So front door is lintel to that lintel up there. These are the bow windows, they're exactly the same. Bedroom 2 window. Bathroom, kitchen. Back door, lintel to lintel. And the box bay bow window, which I'll need to build a roof on top of and have its own soffit fascia and insulation. But that's as far as I've got in the weekly videos. I've been trying to film 2 videos at once, hence the delay. So I've been trying to do a dedicated flooring one with all the insulation and everything else. alongside just an update. Update's been a little bit slower as finger's been healing. Still not got the best range of motion. Again, it's scar tissue and still swollen. They said it could take up to a year to regain all the strength, and I felt very, very weak. It looks not too bad from this side, but this side, I mean, not the best, but count my blessings, I kept my finger. Seconds before surgery, they said to me, by the way, you're probably going to lose this whole finger. So everything from that point was a bonus. So set their expectations low, and then you'll always be surprised. But thank you very much for watching. Might not be the most interesting one, but I hope some people found it interesting. And next video, I'll be covering things like the windows and stuff. And when I say things like the windows, I mean fitting them, because you just saw me go around and show you the ones that are being replaced, which is all of them. So it will be double glazing UPVC. But yeah, catch you in the next video. Bye.